Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Extreme Gen 5 Review. Apart from transitioning to Intel's 12th generation processors instead of the 11th, there is not much altered with the 5th model of Lenovo's flagship laptop for business people and content makers. The ThinkPad X1 Extreme Gen 5 still features a 16-inch, 16:10 aspect ratio panel that was introduced in last year's Gen 4. In fact, you have a selection of 4 16-inch displays which all use IPS technology instead of pricier OLED screens like those included in the Dell XPS 15 and HP NV16. There are no problems with IPS, the 4K touchscreen is remarkable. But there is a dilemma with Lenovo charging such a high cost when the OLED NV16 and Asus VivoBook Pro 16X cost less than $2,000 each. The X1 Extreme still relies on its performance just as before, nevertheless, to stay effective it ought to be made more affordable. The X1 Extreme Gen 5 from ThinkPads is the crowning non-workstation model and amalgamates the familiar matte black form with a carbon fiber lid and an aluminum bottom. It measures 0.7 by 14.2 by 10 inches, which is very close in size to the HP NV16, and remains incredibly light at 4.14 pounds. The Hewlett-Packard weighs 5.12 and Dell's 15-inch XPS 15 comes in at 4.31 pounds. The Lenovo has gone through MIL-STD810H tests to ensure it can dissipate impacts, vibrations, as well as extreme temperatures while on travel routes. Certainly, there is almost no bend when its screen edges are grasped, but there may be some give if pressure is applied on its keyboard base panel. The basic version of this computer is priced at $1,649 and has a Core i7 processor, 8GB RAM, 256GB SSD, and a 1920 by 1,200 pixel display with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX. This 4K monitor is available in both non-touch and touch versions and gamers can go for a 2560 by 1,600 panel with a 165Hz refresh rate. Those wanting more power can configure the Core i9 to hold up to 64GB of RAM and 4TB of storage. The bezels on the screen aren't extremely thin, but rather aesthetically slim with a lower chin and bottom bezel than usual. The webcam features a tiny shutter that can be opened and closed with the tip of a finger. Dolby Atmos tuned speakers surround the keyboard, and the power button also functions as a fingerprint reader. Both it and the face recognition camera allow you to avoid entering passwords with Windows Hello. On the left side of the laptop, there are 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, an HDMI monitor port, an audio jack, and a power connector. On the right side, there are 2 USB-A 3.2 ports, an SD card slot, and a notch for a security cable lock. Although the device does not have an Ethernet port, Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth are built in, and 5G mobile broadband is optional. The 16-inch touchscreen is calibrated in the factory and it is one of the most impressive IPS laptop displays, like HP mobile workstations' Dream Color panels. The colors are brilliant and vibrant, with very deep blacks and pristine white backgrounds. There's plenty of brightness, a high contrast ratio, and wide viewing angles. The extremely high 3840 by 2400 pixel resolution renders detailed visuals without pixelation around the edges. Equipped with a 1080p webcam, your appearance appears close to perfect, even in the dingiest of lighting settings, producing well-lit and vibrant images. Clarity is sharp and virtually no static can be detected. The audio may sound a bit hollow but it's both clear and loud, compared to other models. There's an increased level of bass and it is simple to pick out multiple tracks at the same time. The Dolby Access software comes with various modes for music, movies, gaming, voice, and an equalizer. Also, noise reduction is enabled for video conferencing. Lenovo Vantage is a software utility that offers system updates, as well as features such as battery optimization and Wi-Fi security. With this program, you can assign top row launch keys to your favorite programs and websites. Plus you have the option to switch the FN and control keys if you're uncomfortable with their current hardware arrangement. Putting that complaint aside, the backlit keyboard is almost flawless, presenting a positive typing experience. Distinct home, and page up, and page down keys, and shortcut keys to initiate and terminate conference calls. You have the option of using the trackpoint embedded pointing stick, with 3 buttons below the spacebar. or a medium-sized touchpad that takes comfortable clicks but gets dirty easily if you use your fingertips. In addition to comparing the X1 Extreme's performance to that of the HP NV16 and Dell XPS 15. Benchmark numbers were also obtained for two other 16-inch desktop replacements designed with content creators in mind. The pricey Gigabyte Aero 16 and Asus ProArt Studio Book 16 OLED have powerful Core i9 CPUs and GeForce RTX 30 graphics, making them more expensive than the ThinkPad.